The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Go tell somebody. BVB Live on a Monday. It is time to break down what we just witnessed. What a weekend of sports we just had. The Bostonian versus the book is always live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the book. The same on Twitter and X. Sports Grid TV on the replay. Sirius XM channel 159. Dave, I don't know the Blue Jay stuff. Why Blue Jay stuff on a Monday? How are you?
Oh, it's Blue Jays on a Monday because I didn't know what else to wear. And I was thinking about baseball, and I looked at the board today, and I went, wow, what game do you think nobody's really talking about today? Let's look at this board and go,
Blue Jays
what a really pivotal matchup today is. The Washington Nationals at the Toronto Blue Jays.
I have a bet on the game, though, amazingly enough.
Which, again, we address sports betting here on the show, but we're not solely focused on the sports betting. But if you watch the games and you bet on the games, you might have a bet on this game. So,
well, it's
good
a
to hear
bet,
that you do.
Yeah.
So, I
total bases, Santander over 1.5 total bases is my play in this game today.
Oh, okay.
So see if he can he can get going here a little bit. 2 singles or a double, one of the two. I love when we start betting again on baseball and people have to realize the rules of what these prop bets are. They're like, so steals and walks? No, steals and walks do not count for total bases.
For total bases, yeah.
Sorry. Steals and walks don't count for total bases. So you need either a double, triple, home run. That gets us to the window, or 2 singles. That gets us to the window. That's what we're looking for. Anything else is, we don't care. No bueno on anything else.
You got to check the house rules when you're wagering on this stuff. And, there's different tools to help you use it. You talk about that stuff all the time with the other podcast on Juice with the betting pros. There's other people that have been a part of the show that have tools that, people use. Sometimes people actually do their own research. It's amazing. It still happens. And people have opinions. It's great. Toronto, Washington. My opinion on that game is that Washington City Connect uniforms are tremendous. Ooh. And 100% I'm going to find my way to both a jersey and a hat at some point during the season.
Chicago, Kristen, and John, sorry. It's never good when the raining comes inside the house. It's not what you're looking for.
Oh.
That's not what you're after.
Oh, actually raining. I thought
correct.
It might be doing something else. The way
not the fun
Chicago
kind.
Kristen and Chicago John do things.
Yes.
I thought that was code for something else.
Sounds like it's a brutal day.
Rain in the house. Yeah, I saw. Did you see the pictures of the White Sox game yesterday in the rain?
Oh, in their pathetic excuse for a tarp? Yes, I did see that. That was pretty bad.
Don't know what that was.
I mean, most teams have that thing sponsored now, so it's weird that they don't have a huge tarp with a big logo on it.
Yeah,
like, that's what most teams have. It looks like a single A short season minor league team. What's going on?
I don't know, but it looked bad, and it looked like the wind was blowing, and guys were trying to hold that thing down.
No good.
Trying to get it over, but they got the game in. The Angels won. The White Sox are smooth 1-2.
Yeah, they got a win. The Rockies and the White Sox both have one win, which I would have bet the under for the first week for them to have a win. So
yeah,
not bad.
Listen, man, it's baseball, bro. We'll talk about baseball, I'm sure, but
a lot about baseball. There's some crazy things, some crazy trends going on at the moment, but obviously a lot happened this past weekend. So let's get into it because there's a great book conversation. For the first time ever, favorites went 12-0 straight up in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Overall, only 12 underdog teams have won their game outright in the
Yep.
NCAA tournament up to this point. That is the least ever. We've never seen this. I'm going to ask you this from a book perspective, okay?
Uh-huh.
If sports become extremely predictable, or this sport becomes extremely predictable, what does that do to not just the handle, but the appetite to bet it from a book perspective?
I think people are loving it.
The public's loving it. The books can't be loving this.
Yeah. Well, it's action. I mean, it's, it's just, when's the last time it happened?
It's never happened.
No, this happened.
No, 12-0 in the Sweet. This has never
Oh,
happened.
no, the 4 number 1 seeds getting there.
Oh, 2008. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not talking the chalkiness of the tournament going number 1. That's its own conversation, and we can get to that. Like, that's definitely there. But the tournament is designed to get to the best team, whoever the best team in the country is. So having 4 number 1 seeds just mean those are the 4 number 1 teams, and the committee did their best to seed those teams properly. I'll give you that.
Is it a good job that the number 1 seeds are all there, and number 1s versus number 2s in every region except one?
When that's 1 versus 3, it was 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-3.
Right.
Ooh, I don't like it personally, but I get why people do like it. They like brand names and they think they're seeing the best basketball. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. 2 of the 4 games were good. 2 of the 4 games sucked. But
You can't control the actual result of the game.
Right. Fair.
And how the game is played out.
Fair.
I would say somebody has to give the committee a tip of the hat for getting it right. I mean, the best teams are in.
Fair.
A couple of the games were duds, but they're always as duds. We can't have drama, buzzer beaters, and things with every game.
We only had like 4 games that were good, though. Most of the games were pretty bad.
Oh, I mean, is that more?
And 3 of them involve Florida. Florida has been the common thread through most of the great, crazy games in this tournament. Like, Florida's been the team that's been a part of it. They're the cat that has 9 lives. They're the cat that's in a room full of rocking chairs and jumping around and not getting caught.
I guess I just think, I don't know if from the book's perspective, we just need games.
Okay.
The crown games are today.
4.
This is not going to do. I mean, the first game's starting in 30 minutes from now. And this guy, Corby, wrote an excellent thing about it. And, he's a bettor. So he has some really good trends and different things that are available there. It's on my Twitter at SportsBCakeandSig. By the way, Matt's is at Sports Talk Matt. The show is at Boston versus the Book. We got some nice run over the weekend with some things. So that was good. If you don't follow us on there, you should. And if you don't follow the show on YouTube at Boston versus the Book, please do that. Hit the subscribe button, please, because we need more people to see that we're actually doing something. Namely, my wife.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah, we need somebody to see that we're actually doing something every day.
Yes, we are actually working,
getting together and talking. Books are fine. I think they're fine.
Okay.
I just think that this is more indicative of college basketball.
In a negative.
The mid majors are minor league teams for the big schools. Nobody stays. Nobody. How do you build a team? The guy from Maryland everyone knew he was going to Villanova, and it was announced that he went, and nobody was surprised. They got smoked in their last game. Smoked.
Yeah. I think the 12-0 straight up, where favorites, like, you're giving a tip of the cap to the committee. Are we giving the same tip of a cap to the bookmakers who were right to make the favorites because all 12 won over the weekend? Not a single dog, not a single team that caught points won the game. They all lost. 12 up, 12 down.
What was the result of the weekend as far as, because it was 26-22 favorites to dogs, ATS. I didn't look. Tula usually posts it. I went to the volleyball game last night with Kendall and Jess, and I didn't see anything last night. So
I'll tell you right now. Let's see. 7-5.
Okay, so that's 33 and 28. The books would love it to be flipped, but 33 and 28 to the favorites covering, that's good. I mean, it could be a lot worse. So,
I mean, if you weren't betting money line parlays, what were you? I mean, come on now.
Well, the
what
money
you have
line
to-
parlays add up. That's the thing that, I mean,
Yeah. See,
Kendall said it. Yeah, that's the reality of it. Butchie's in here. Induces to you, Butchie. Books got crushed. A lot of books
they
did,
won
but
one game each, Dave. One. Like, okay. So mid-majors won. They won one game each. That's it. Like, come on now. That's ridiculous. That's not something that we're used to seeing. Like mid-majors won. Okay. They won 2 games. That's not how this normally goes. We normally have a team in the Sweet 16 that is from a non-power 5 or non-power 4. We normally have a team that makes a run, that makes noise, that really does big upsets. I mean, more often than not. 2 years ago, we had the mid-major Final Four that everybody loves to talk about. FAU was in the Final Four. Miami was in the Final Four.
nobody watched that though.
And everybody watched it. And I'll give you that. The TV. I'm not saying this is good for the television people. I'm just saying I get the idea that we play a tournament to determine the best teams in college basketball. And we have found the 4 best teams because they've been the 4 best teams all year. So we do have the 4 best teams playing in San Antonio. I will give that tip of the cap. Yes. I'm talking from a book perspective. If it's this predictable, what do these money lines become? 500, 600, 700? If it gets to the point where we know by the time we get to the Sweet 16, we already know who the best teams are?
Well, it won't matter because they'll all be doing it on prediction markets anyway. There'll just be people buying and selling off of each other. So there ain't going to be books in 5 years the way this is all
NIL was
going
not
anyway.
around 2 years ago, guys. Stop saying we've never seen college basketball like this ever. The portal combined with NIL has never been in existence. We've never had $7 million be paid to the number 1 recruit to go to BYU. That's never happened. Okay. This is not new. This is not old. This is all brand new. From this year, draw the line. It goes from when basketball started November 1st or whatever you want to call Midnight Madness, draw the line, okay, and go forward because college basketball has been changed forever unless we do something about these rules and the payment of players and the freedom of movement that we have going on right now. We've never seen this before. So anything happened before the 2025 tournament, throw it out the window. Throw it out. We've never seen it before.
Robert Morris made the basketball tournament, made the NCAA, right? Played in that game, the play-in game, then got smoked by Alabama. Not smoked. I mean, they ended up losing. They covered,
Right.
but they were winning with 5 minutes to go. It was great. All 5 kids in the transfer portal. All 5. The whole
Did
starting
you see what
5.
happened to D-Rock?
No.
The entire roster.
Gone.
He lost his entire roster of scholarship players.
Yeah.
Every single player at Indiana is gone.
Right.
He has to go from 0. He has to take an entirely new team and find how to put them together with NIL payments in transfer portal. He has to recruit an entirely new team.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Indiana.
that's what. So, yeah, I know they played in the 16 game, Dave. Double check. I no, they didn't. Did they play in the playing game?
I think they were the 15 seed against Bama. It was 15-2.
16.
No, they're 15.
15, right.
15 seeds. They didn't play in Dayton.
Right. Okay.
But they played one game and they pushed them.
But they had a great year.
Yeah, and they lost
All those
everybody.
kids could come back. Nobody's coming back. So,
I mean, it's everyone left. It's just you're Darren DeVries. You're showing up. You have one player, your son. You have one player.
right.
Tucker DeVries is your only one. 14 straight. It's not just the 12-0, it's 14 straight. 14 straight tournament games have been won by the team that was favored by the books.
Right.
That's not fun. That's not fun. Like that's not fun to me. Like I people were saying like this is awesome. I think this is not fun at all. I again,
I don't know. Ask the chat, boys and girls. Are you enjoying the best? You're enjoying the NCAA tournament? Yes or no? All the favorites winning.
Florida's been a ton of fun to watch because of, I mean, Walter Clayton Jr. is the most clutch player in the tournament. I'm not going to forget the fact that he dribbled out to the 3-point line to take a 3 to hit with his team down 6 and he buried it. I mean, he's hit big shot against UConn. I mean, that guy has been incredible. So or Florida games have been tremendous. So I'm not putting Florida in this conversation. Duke
because they were down and they had to come back.
Yeah. Duke has rolled. Duke has basically crushed everybody that they've played. Arkansas had the biggest choke of the tournament. Texas Tech had the biggest comeback in the tournament. That game was obviously really fun and exciting to watch on that. But like we normally have, like one shining moment is going to be pretty thin. Like there's not like the reason why one shining moment became a thing because they went back and showed all of the amazing moments that happened throughout the tournament. You're like, oh my God, 3 weeks of just so many crazy buzzer beater games. And remember that shot or that call or this or that. We don't really have that right now with this tournament. Like it's
right.
Are the best teams playing? Absolutely. Did we see great basketball? Okay. Historic basketball? Not really. You know, normally somebody rises to the top. Normally some team does something special that, you know, Bryce Drew should not be a name that everybody knows. Okay. But you say the name Bryce Drew and you know Valparaiso. Like, you know what that is. You know Ali Farouk-Manesh is not just the head coach of Colorado State, but you know there's a kid from UNI who had a shot that no one was supposed to take. Like, those are the moments of March that we live for. And if those are gone, that sucks. Like that kills the magic
gone
of
this year. I mean, it happens.
I just hope they're not gone, period. They might be gone forever. You just said it. The mid-majors are the minor league for the power. It sucks.
Listen, you guys in the chat, you keep joking that Paul Skeens is going to be a Dodger or a Yankee in 3 years. I mean, this is what college sports has become. You don't stay at Xavier because the coach doesn't stay at Xavier a lot of times. Or someone's going to double the amount of money you can make, and you only have 4 years to make it. Sometimes 5, sometimes 6 if they can figure out the loopholes and all that other stuff. But you're telling kids who have representation now, who are out hustling to get them more money so the agent can make more money. There's no loyalty. There's no relationship. I don't know how coaches are going to do it. I mean, we saw, you know, when Ollie was on, he said it with a smile because he's getting the job. I mean, got the job now, but like, you got to recruit every day when you have the guy, because there's people sending him or his agents texts, emails. Hey, man, you gonna be around? We're gonna have lunch. Stop by, talk, see if we can get you double.
Yeah. The freedom of movement thing has got to be addressed. Like, we have to come up with some. Jeff Goodman tweeted something out today about making a transfer fee that if you're going to go and take a kid out, you got to pay the school that is losing the player.
Oh God, really?
So like how much money?
Soccer, like
correct.
Buyouts and all. You have buyouts for kids.
Yes. So like that, like where you could jump in and buy a kid out of his contract to get him to go over and play for you. So there's like, if you're a mid-major, if you're a McNeese State for whatever instance, and like Florida came calling and was going to take a player from you that they got $100,000 or whatever it is, and then it would rise based upon how long the kid was there. So if you stayed 3 years, you would pay that school more to do that. Everyone has their theory, everyone has their idea, but this tournament should be an eye-opener for anyone in college basketball to realize that, like, fans, generally speaking, fans don't like this. Like, fans aren't interested in, they like some players moving around. They don't like 1,000 players moving around every offseason. It's too much. It's killing the sport.
It's just hard to keep track of. You know, it doesn't make it easy to follow. And it doesn't make it hard to get attached to a team unless you have ties like with the school or something like that. Everybody's in a conference now. Good point here by Dave's Daily Picks. Conference consolidation. Look at the Big 12, Houston, Cincy, BYU, all were mid-majors.
Fair.
You know, the Big East, Butler and Creighton.
Fair. That's a fair point to make, that we would have, we've taken, because of TV revenue, these schools have been given the opportunity, if they have a following and a program, to elevate themselves and go and play on a larger stage. That's 100% true. But where are they? We have 2 SEC schools. We have one Big 10 school, and we have, one ACC, one Big 12 school. Yeah. So we have, you know, in the Elite Eight was, you know, 4 SEC schools, half from one conference. Like, there should be more, and there hasn't been, because we're still making this the invitational of the big boys in the Big 10 and the SEC.
Right.
Which is what they want anyway. I mean, that's what they want. Like, I mean, that's what we'll have to get around and do that. But half of this conference, and
Oh, hold on. You're frozen. You're completely frozen. Look at that face right there. Snap it. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, I went dark.
All
we have that.
right, now you're back. Okay.
We're good. Yeah, I went dark on that. We don't want me to go dark. We have one Final Four from one conference. One half of the bracket for the Final Four from one conference.
Yeah.
From the SEC. So, that idea
could have been all four. Thank goodness it wasn't, because then we
could
would
have
just heard. It just means more. Tough one for Tennessee. That morning start on Sunday didn't work out so well.
It's also third straight year they've made the Elite Eight, and the third straight year that Rick Barnes has lost. It's one of those unfortunate situations for Tennessee and Rick Barnes that they just can't get over the hump, and they're running into. I mean, look, when Houston plays defense like that, they gave up 15 points in the first half. They gave up 15 points. Like,
Tennessee could not hit a shot, and then they couldn't. There were possessions where they weren't even getting a shot, and it just got so. It was over early. And
let me ask
went
you this.
under the total, but it went.
Which game's more interesting? It should have gone over, though. I bet the over 123.5. That game that pissed me off. That was the bet of the whole weekend that pissed me off. That game should have gone over. If Tennessee scores 5 more points in the first half, the game goes over. Like, that was ridiculous. It fell 119. Ridiculous. That made me mad. I was like, man,
What's
come
that
on.
saying? If your aunt had
fine, whatever it may be, but it was still whatever. It was just it pissed me off. That was like, my God, you don't handicap Tennessee to score 15 points in the first half. Ridiculous. Insanity.
They couldn't get any baskets.
Awful. But which game's more entertaining or interesting to you? Duke, Houston, or Florida, Auburn?
Oh, I think this is a dead pick 'em, but for different reasons.
Oh, I think Duke Houston is so much more entertaining. It's the number one offense against the number one defense in the country.
That's what I mean. Styles make fights, right? But how many times did Auburn and Florida play during the season?
Once.
Who won it?
Florida by 9.
In Florida?
At Auburn.
Guys in the chat, Nikki Caramello, somebody, Eron, Sean, somebody check it right now.
Florida beat Auburn 90-81 by 9 at Auburn.
At Auburn.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm way more excited to watch Duke Houston than I am watching Florida Auburn. I think Florida's going to smoke Auburn. It's an awesome matchup for Florida. They match up so well against Auburn. This is a great matchup for Florida. For them to get to the championship game, and then they got to deal with Houston. I think Houston's going to beat Duke. I really do. I think it's how my bracket went. I got 3 of the 4 Final Four teams in. I have Michigan State, not Auburn, in this game. And I almost got that right. But I think it's Florida Houston in the championship game.
All right, give the kids a poll. Can you do a poll without freezing? Do you think right now?
Yeah,
let's try. Give it a shot. Which game is more entertaining? We'll let the people speak. Auburn versus Florida or Duke versus Houston. I think it's a pick 'em. I think they're going to be both good, but that Styles make fights is real.
Yeah.
Duke versus Houston. That could turn into a dud.
Really?
As far as entertainment. Yeah, it could be an ugly under. But that's okay. I like ugly unders. It's fine. In Auburn, Florida, man, I mean, what's the total in that game? Should be high. I didn't even look yet. I haven't even looked at the totals. I haven't even thought about it.
Let me tell you right now. The total for I think it's like 168.
Okay.
Let me see. For Auburn, Florida, the total is 160.5.
Okay.
And then 136 for Houston Duke.
I mean, so people that like points and scoring and entertainment are going to vote for Auburn, Florida, most likely to be more. I don't know if interesting is the word, but more entertaining. And other people that like unders and defense is Duke and Houston.
I can't.
Monica
I just
Wrench said
can't
I'm
wait.
saying Duke and Houston just because they have both had tight games that should not have been that tight.
Purdue for Houston, and
everybody likes it tight.
What was
Sonic.
Duke?
Everybody likes it tight. There's no.
What was Duke's tight game? Lastly, who did
Arizona?
It wasn't really tight. It was. I mean, I never thought. Do you ever think Arizona's going to win that game?
Well, watching the game, I didn't, but they didn't cover.
Yeah, okay, but I never thought Duke was in jeopardy of losing that game. I watched all 4 Duke games, and never at one point in this tournament have I thought, oh my gosh, Duke's going to lose. I've thought Florida was going to lose 3 times.
Minimum twice, yeah.
And they've come back and won all 3 times. I've thought that they've come back and won. I thought that Houston was in real trouble against Purdue. I thought Houston was going to go down.
Well, it literally came down to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whether or not that was a push off or not is a big question. Was it an offensive foul? Purdue fans won't let that go. I'm not sure they should, to be honest.
The problem is that there's so much flopping now, just in basketball in general, that when it actually is a push and a guy goes flying, it looks like a flop.
Right.
And it's the end of the game. I don't know if I want that called anyway.
Correct. Yeah, and Houston knew that. Houston was like, "Let's see if you have the balls to make that call."
Right.
I'm gonna go
tied and whatever. So yeah,
I'm gonna send the guy flying and let's see if you're gonna actually, are you actually going to call that call?
Jeez.
What's the
quick update? It's 8-0 White Sox rolling.
Why
the Twins.
I'm telling
are
you,
really having a tough time to start. You Minnesota guys, I love you, king of car seats. D Stout 19. I mean, we try to tell you.
Nobody wanted to listen to me on that, but I said, look, I thought the White Sox in September last year weren't good, but they weren't awful. Like, they've got some kids that are going to come up there and want to play. I wasn't going to bet them to be the worst team in baseball. I think that's going to be the Rockies. I don't think the White Sox are going to be the worst team in baseball. So,
well, we'll see. But the Twins it's not a good start for the Twins. There's a couple teams that just haven't had a good start. Obviously, my Pirates.
We'll get into that. It's early. What do you make of the odds? Duke is plus 110, basically even money. Florida plus 270. Houston and
Auburn.
Auburn.
The matchup right there. There's the finals matchup.
Duke, Florida, huh?
Yeah, it's done. I mean, at what point do you want to say, oh, no, the dog's going to win now? You just said it. The 12 times. It's happened 12 times the whole tournament. Chalk, favorite. That's
14 straight. So you're telling me it's going to be 16 straight and then maybe 17 straight favorites win?
That's what the odds tell you.
Okay.
Jason
says it's wrong.
I don't know. Why can't Auburn win?
They could.
They very well could. You just feel like Florida's been playing with fire.
They have. At some point, to catch up to
right. Like, it just feels like they've been playing with fire.
Yeah.
Duke has been dominant. Cooper Flag is NBA ready
now.
6 months ago, like watching him play with basketball people, they just look at him and go, I mean, it's just a matter of how much and how fast he's going to be a great pro.
The rumor mill is so brutal right now, which I hope to God it's not true about what Boston's prepping to do to go get him.
To go get who?
To go get Cooper Flag.
The Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
I'm quitting the show.
The rumor is that Boston is going, that Jason Tatum is, Boston has to start to, because of the private equity firm buying the team, the payroll for Boston's got to come down, and to have 2 max players could make it really problematic. So the rumor is that Boston's going to take Jaylen Brown and somebody else and package it together and go get the number 1 pick in the draft and take Cooper Flag to play with Jason Tatum.
I'm speechless.
To go get the 2 Duke kids to go play together, because they played together in Vegas, and supposedly he came back. And yes, his mother is a psychotic Celtics fan. Psychotic, top of the line Celtics fan. Like, his mom wants to play in Boston for Cooper Flag.
Have you been listening to the local radio and
stuff?
No,
that's in NBA circles. That's a Trista.
In the water.
That's a Trista Crick special right there. That's an NBA rumor mill flying around.
That's perfect. I'm texting Trista immediately after the show. She can come on and say that tomorrow. Which, by the way, guys, tomorrow's an early show. She's not saying it.
She just yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine.
She retweeted it. Like, it's not her reporting. She just found it and has put it out into the sphere.
It's got to be nonsense myself, but like
it may not be. I mean, it's actually I don't look personally. I don't want to happen. Like, Jaylen Brown, do not trade Jaylen Brown. But if we're picking between the two, Boston's already made it pretty clear that they would pick Tatum over Brown as to who they would have that. So, in the equity firm that's going to buy out, as we've seen with equity firms, what do they always do? Equity firms buying things, see Southwest Airlines, not normally a good thing. They don't come in and start spending more money. They spend less. So, like Jaylen Brown being a max player, you would take that contract and be replacing it with a much cheaper contract for number one pick overall. I mean, Jaylen Brown's owed $350 million, whatever it is. So Cooper Flag's not going to be on that for years. Now,
Houston's going to make it literally a street fight, and it's going to be tough. And Duke doesn't play that way. So we'll see.
I like Houston to win it.
We'll see. I think both dogs could win. Legit.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm not just saying that because, I'm a book guy. And
Houston Auburn would be oh boy. I would be curious how the handle for that would go. Like, you want Duke, Florida. You get Duke, Florida, you're getting a mega handle. That's a Monday night special.
Saturday, it's two really good games with a lot of brand name power. I mean, there's going to be, and the game's in Houston.
Yeah.
Or in San Antonio,
Correct.
So
yeah.
it's going to be, all saying and worrying about fans and people and Houston having to play in Indiana against Purdue and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that's going to be a lot different. I hope they give them all the same love down in San Antonio. I don't know. I think it's going to be good. Nicky Ciaramello said, I can't remember the last time I've been excited for two Final Four games like the ones we're getting. I don't think he's alone.
I'm way more pumped for Duke Houston, but I'm more psyched for Duke Houston than I am for the championship game, no matter what the order is. I think we'd have the best. That's going to be the best game of the season in my mind, just because of how different the two teams are. Like, they are polar opposites on paper as to how they play. So I can't wait to watch the fight. I can't wait to see if Duke can handle it. Can Houston score enough? If Duke gets going up tempo, how are they going to defend Cooper Flag? Like, are they going to beat him up? Is that the idea? Are they going to play straight up? Are they going to double him? Like, I can't wait to watch just the chess match as to how they're going to wind up playing. Auburn's got real injury questions. Broom's elbow is really a big concern. If he's not healthy, if he's not able to do what without him, they're not beating Florida, and they may lose by double digits.
Wow. I just saw in the chat, Kyle 305 has Houston at 14-1 and Florida at 16-1 way back in December. So I'm taking Auburn as a hedge.
Smart. I have 10-1 Florida.
Lock it up. That's perfect.
And I'm probably not going to do anything with it. I'm not touching it to the final. I'm letting it go. I got a 10-1 ticket on Florida. I don't think I need to do anything. I like Florida to beat Auburn. I'll probably double down and take Florida, lay the points with Florida, and say, okay, let's, or maybe I'll take with Auburn and try to middle it in some way. But I'm not hedging significantly until the championship game, and then I'll come back and bet 3 or 4 units on whoever they're playing and just guarantee myself profit.
I mean, you could take Auburn just on the money line, just to
35. 35-1?
Wow.
Is that what you have, Joel?
That's very possible.
35-1 would be great. Whoa, to be sitting on that ticket right now. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. I got involved too late. I could have gotten involved at 20-1 for Florida. I waited a week, and then it was 10-1, and then I finally took it at 10-1. So we didn't do that. But the Houston rollover experiment worked beautifully. Turned $100 into $400.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah.
To do that.
Well, it was a smooth Sunday morning. It was easy like Sunday morning, like the Commodores. I mean, the Friday night sweat was real.
Yeah, the Purdue game had me in stitches. The Florida game had me in stitches. I mean, I kept on betting Duke and Florida money line parlay and Houston money line. I kept on betting that all tournament long. I kept on betting that.
Right.
I bet that so like I've done very well in this tournament, just simply, like people say, like, okay, don't be upset about the way that things are going. Just bet it, make money on what's happening. And I didn't think I'd hit them all, but I've hit them all. I've hit, I've hit 3 Duke Florida money line parlays and 4 money line plays for Houston. So just rolling it over and rolling it over and rolling it over.
Put them in the chat, boys, if you got them. I see Football Guy in 97's got Duke plus 850.
Good for you.
That's good. Onler showing off a little bit with the 35, the one with Florida, but says he hates it. That's, a lot
can't
of
hate it. You should love it.
Yeah.
My God, you have so much room to work off of.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't have much margin. I have a 10-1 with Florida. I don't have a lot of a margin to work with. So I can't really look to hedge all that much unless they're in the championship game. So I don't have the same flexibility. At 35-1, you got all sorts of things you can do with that.
Yeah,
it's good.
Nikki's got them at 12-1. Jade out bets. Dave, where do these lines close? Should folks who like Florida take them now? To be honest, I didn't even look. Let me double check right now and see what.
That was 5. Close that window. It is currently at Florida -2.5 and Duke -5. 5.5 at DraftKings. Disagree with that, but okay. Just give me as many points as possible. I'm taking Houston.
I can't believe there's college basketball games today. I can't. This crown thing is just like as you open up the odds screen and these games are there, you're just wondering why. But they're there. That's fine. Utah, Butler, George Washington, Boise. Wow. Hold on. Let's get to the bottom here.
It's funny too because I keep on asking this question whenever we're looking at the numbers. Like I don't give any commentary. All I'm asking is, do we like this? That's all I'm asking. Like, do we like this? And the number of people that are like inserting their own opinion that's mine into like trying to speak for me is hysterically funny. Like I'm loving this because I just say, do we like this? Like here are the numbers. It's 12-0 favorites, 14 in a row. I mean, we've gotten all number 1 seeds. Like, do we like this? Some people are like, this is amazing. Some people think this is awful. It's the opinions are all over the place right now as to how people are going to interpret the way we've gotten to this point with 4 number 1 seeds.
Do you like it?
I don't like it. No, personally, I don't like it, but I don't have a huge problem with it from a betting perspective. I just think I have found this tournament to be too chalky, and I don't like chalky tournaments personally. I prefer to see guys that we don't talk about all the time get their time in the sunshine, in the time in the spotlight, and make a name for themselves during the month of March. But I think we're in for incredible basketball. Like I don't think we're sitting here with teams that don't belong or teams that haven't earned their spot. I mean, Auburn's got 35 wins, and they're the 4th option on the betting market. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, them and Houston are about the same, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, but they have 35 wins. I mean, they had more quad 1 wins than anybody else in the country by a ways.
Right.
Like, they played an incredibly difficult schedule. They won the SEC regular season. They're playing the team that won the SEC tournament. So now we've got that matchup in San Antonio. I mean, it's incredible. But see, Tyrone,
I just like meaningful basketball. Like it's fun. The tournament is meaningful. The results are what they are. Like I enjoy it every year. I don't think because favorites are winning, it's more or less exciting. You know, you just know what's coming. Like the crown is here, but
right.
It's it. This is it. There's 3 more games. There's 2 games Saturday and a 1 game Monday.
We're done.
And that's it.
That stinks because I hate the end of college basketball because we just enter into kind of a doldrum time where no college sports really matter until Omaha, and that's not till the summer. So we have a couple of months.
There's a hockey tournament going on. That's going to be fun.
There is the Frozen Four, and we'll get to the Frozen Four here in a second, but the Frozen Four is over next weekend too. So, I mean, it's 2
weeks actually.
Yeah, that's right.
They play this weekend. They play the following
weekend, April 10th and 12th.
About all of this.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of funny how they do that, but J-Dow, tell me how Santander is doing. It's 4-0 Orioles. He's on the Blue Jays. I can't forget anything. He's on the Orioles. It's 4-0 Orioles against the Red Sox. Well, I mean, that's not too shocking. I was going to bet the Orioles today. The Red Sox, I love the panic. Speaking of the locals here, you want to hear panic? Turn on radio today about the Red Sox. Guys, yeah, it's not, to quote Jared Carabas and steal his line, it's not even April. It's not even April. Really what are we concerned about? I'm like, I don't care if they lose every game in March. Lose every game in March. I don't care. It means nothing. It literally means nothing. All these games mean 0. Zip, nuts, zips. It means nothing to me. They all matter.
Better to win 5 than lose.
Of course, but like, it doesn't mean your team's gonna be bad. It doesn't mean your team's season's over. No. It doesn't mean you got to pack it up and go, okay, I'll see you next season. Like, it's Red Sox haven't played a home game yet. Like, relax. Like, Oh my.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Kevin Willard thing. He is going after being with Seton Hall for a while. He is leaving Maryland and becoming the head coach of Villanova after all of that ridiculousness that's gone on. This situation is causing a lot of people to sit there and say that these coaches have no morals. They lie. They don't tell the truth. So why should players be expected to tell the truth? And they should be able to transfer. And like, they're using this Kevin Willard situation as the clearest example of like why kids should have the ability to do whatever they want. And it's hard to dispute it. I mean, this was pretty ugly.
Well, it's indisputable. I don't think you can. The kids have freedom now, and no one likes it. The coaches have always had it. Now they have it, and they can be coaching. You know, like if you take the job or you're taking the job, just hand it to the assistant and say, ride it out. I got to go. It was fun. Hug each kid and say, thanks for getting me a max deal. I'm glad you came here. Good luck. I don't know if I'm taking you when my next stop is. I don't know. It's awkward. It's hard to tell the kid to commit to the team when you ain't committed to the team. It's one of those things. I mean, I didn't really know it or see it until I was coaching and I started, taking these kids to meetings and talking to coaches and listening to the coach make his pitch and then walking back with the 16-year-old that I've known since she was 10 going, that guy is full of caca. He ain't even going to be there in 2 years. You're going to go to some school in Omaha, Nebraska, which you're going to hate, to play softball. This guy, he's going to coach a year or two. If you win, he's leaving. He ain't staying. So it's tough to say that the kids can't leave. But that just seemed, I don't know. Maryland was excited. I mean, AO's a Maryland grad here. He was looking to go to San Francisco to go to games.
Right.
You get excited when your team does something in March. There's something still about the March run.
Johnny Parlay said there's 200 people in the stands.
Under?
I
didn't look, but I'll go under.
On a Monday afternoon in Vegas, involving two teams without any fan base connection at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll ask you the question. Is the Crown bettable?
Yeah.
It is? I couldn't.
Yes.
I looked it over last night. I couldn't find a single play that I wanted to bet.
Oh, I mean, I told you, read this Corby's, I met him last week. I mean, he's a sharp kid.
Does he know who's playing and who's there and who's not?
He listed them all.
He knows the rotation and how the players are going to be played and how when guys leave.
Who came, like, some of these teams haven't played a game in, let's see, today's the 31st. Their last game was like March 10th.
Some of these teams have 7 scholarship players, Dave.
Correct. It's
Arizona State showing up with 7 scholarship players. You're going to bet on Arizona State? Like, come on. Like, I don't think this tournament, at least for the first round, maybe in the second round after we watch them play, but in the first round, I looked at all 4 games last night. I was like, I can't do this. I can't put a single cent on any of these teams. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust Butler. I don't trust Utah. I don't trust Nebraska. I don't trust Utah State. Arizona State. I don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
they haven't played for too long.
I don't think you can. I think you can maybe watch it, maybe see something in game, but this kid listed all like the number of guys on each squad and a number of starters that stayed. There was a different, used to look at like defensive efficiency and all this other stuff. Now you're looking at that.
Who stuck around? Who stayed? Oh boy,
it is bettable. Joe C. Myers just said, of course it's bettable. If ping pong is bettable, this is. Yeah, I bet ping pong over the weekend. By the way, I had to try it. Yeah, first time ever. Yeah, it was electric. It was great.
Electric.
Oh, it was amazing. It was over, and I mean, like it was fast. It was like a really short title shot. You know what I'm saying? Like it was quick. I was like, man, this is the line went from minus 120 to minus 300 to minus 850 on this guy. And I was like, well, I guess he's going to win. And I had him. So that was good. But I had the other guy pre-match. So, but it was over. It was done. It was graded in like, I swear to God, less than 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Really? End. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's like on the Caesars app, you can watch it. I got up and went to the bathroom, opened up my phone, and the live button had like 8. It said there were live events. 8. I'm like, how can there be live? I was looking for lines for the next morning. And I'm like, what could possibly be live right now? It said 8 things. So I touched it, and I was like, 6 were ping pong. One was some basketball game in China, and something else was,
Oh my God.
what was the other thing in Australia? I forget what it was. Rugby, maybe. I can't remember. But like there's 6 ping pong matches live right now. So I opened one up and I laid 120 with the one guy, and he must have lost. And I said, oh, he lost the first point or game or whatever. I grabbed plus 110 with the other guy and said, here we go.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. That's
Yeah.
hysterically funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I guess Mike Vrabel just was asked point blank, who is your favorite free agent signing so far by the Patriots? And he said the next one, which is he's got the big Stephon Diggs was signed over the weekend by the Patriots. So it's kind of funny that he's not even gonna he's gonna do the Belichick. He's not gonna give you any flowers for anything. You're gonna have to earn everything with Belichick, or sorry, with Vrabel like Belichick. So that's a good quote. Who's your favorite signing? The next one,
Wait,
which
is Johnny Parlay at the game right now? Is he working the usher?
So they're bombing threes. 23 points in the first 3.5 minutes.
Bet overs, right? That's what you got to do.
Really? In a building they haven't played in before? It's dangerous. No,
nobody's even covering anybody.
Maybe, yeah.
Just
an AAU game.
Yes.
Wow.
Somebody just doubled off the wall. The Orioles now lead 4-2 over the Red Sox.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, the Red Sox. Was it Rafi? Did he finally get a hit? Because that was shut everybody up. That's all you're hearing in radio here. Devers historic 12 Ks and 16 at bats, 0 for 16, like the worst start in the history of Red Sox baseball.
It was not him.
Okay.
No.
That's too bad. Need Rafi to get a hit to kind of quiet everybody down.
Yeah.
To make it kind of go. Oh, Kevin Durant's out for at least a week, by the way. So not at the game. Problem was the over for this game was 175.5.
157.5. 157.
When I flip it again, sorry,
175.
Yes, there we go. My dyslexia kicks in there. Sorry. In real time, you can see it. Durant with the double. Love it. Let's go. All right. Speaking of baseball, you're the baseball guy. You tell me, fair or foul? Is the Torpedo bat a legal piece of equipment in Major League Baseball?
In
case you don't know the story, the New York Yankees hired a MIT physicist to go and take a look at the baseball bat and to reassess the mass of the bat to put more mass at the at the label and less on the barrel, because he found out that players were making more contact at the label and not the barrel. The result was 15 home runs by the New York Yankees in the first 3 games of the regular season.
Oh, it's 100% legal. I reached out, and my guys at MLB are awesome. MLB Network, they're fantastic. They do a great job. It is legal for now.
That is the word of the day for now.
I have, we do favorite thing about today at the end of the show every single day. You guys have stayed for this. Some people sign on, some people watch the replay and start it in reverse and watch the favorite thing about today and then go watch the rest of the show. I was going to save this for favorite thing about today because I can't believe we're actually talking about it. But the rule first, rule 3.02 regarding bats. The bat shall be a smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. The bat shall be one piece of solid wood. Okay? That alone is close to meat curtains as far as I'm concerned. I'm reading the actual definition in the Major League Rulebook for a bat. Okay, a smooth round.
Because every male has one of those, so it's like we're not going to find it as funny as the meat curtains angle.
This is for the girls. This is for the ladies. The women love the show. This is for them. Okay. Now, credit for this innovation seems to be ascribed to Aaron Lenhart. This is the MIT physicist.
Yeah.
Lenny began his career in Yankee player development, but now works for the Marlins. Okay. So from Brendan Cady of The Athletic, the bats, with their torpedo-like shape, are custom made to player preferences and are designed so that the densest part of the bat is where the particular hitter most often makes contact with the baseball, said Leonhardt. People back in the day swung very heavy bats made out of hickory, and then someone had this genius idea to swing something lighter, something like ash.
Yeah.
And that was revolutionary back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, kind of in that transition. And then the industry stayed the course for quite some time. Ultimately, it just takes people asking the right questions and be willing to be forward thinking.
Look, 150 years. This is the 150th season of Major League Baseball. It took us this long to figure this out. I'm stunned it took us this long in the age of analytics and in the age of changing everything. We have now changed the base pass. We've now changed the baseball. We've now changed the ballparks. The last thing to go was the bat. We've now changed the bat in search of the most optical, analytically sound baseball team. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. It's still a round ball with a round bat. However, let's see how it plays out, because if this goes and starts to create damaging or danger, much like we had, it was what, maple bats we had to outlaw for a while because maple bats were really hard, but they broke and they turned into like lawn darts and guys were going to get impaled by it. Does this create a danger situation? If it doesn't, I think it stays. I think it's part of baseball.
Let's see. I have another quote here that I got from MLB Network. Again, guys are awesome. They send me this stuff. Orioles hitting coach Cody Ash told Jared Greenspan of MLB.com, where you hit the ball, put some more mass in the sweet spot. I think that's not something that's unique to the Yankees. There's a rap song where somebody says, you can do it, put your back into it, and you can do it and put your ass into it. They're putting more mass into it. They're putting more mass into the torpedo-like shaped bats.
Look, as long as the players aren't juiced, I'm good with it. As long as the balls aren't juiced, I'm good with it. I don't care. And it's legal because there's nothing inside the bat that's corking or making it hollow.
Yeah.
So we're not having any more elastic ball refraction. Okay. The balls aren't coming off of it in a more elastic way, which is what happens when it's a corked bat or it's a lighter bat and gets through the zone faster. It's a bat that just has repositioned the way the shape of it is. Yes, Corb and I agree. They look like bowling pins.
100% Corb. They do look like bowling pins.
But it's still round ball, round bat.
And then they get real girthy. Yep. Good word, JC from KC.
Yep.
And then, but like Judge isn't using it.
He's not. No.
So,
although some people think he is, but he's not.
Right.
There's some debate over whether or not he's been like swapping it out or using it or whatever. But I don't think he is. But the Yankees, Chisholm and company. My God.
The plate and everyone knows you're using it. What do you mean you don't know if he's using it?
There's some debate as to there's some bats that aren't as pronounced as others in the Torpedo model. There's some that are really pronounced and there's some that just a little bit are pronounced. But I don't think Judge is using it.
Are we talking about bats here?
Correct. Yes.
Are we because you're talking about things and torpedoes and different play. People
Girth
are going to get the wrong idea about the show.
Hey, we're talking about home runs, are we not? We're talking about circling the bases and getting a homer. I don't know. In my elementary, that was the ultimate. That was the round trip. You may call it a title shot, but for us, it was called a home run. Touch them all.
I don't know. We're never getting off late night. Will, you're right. We may. I don't know about that. We may be off late night sooner than later. I hope not, but we'll see. I don't know.
No. Good luck checking your swing. We'll see about how it changes everything. I don't know. I think it's a really interesting. I think it's wonderful that after 150 years, somebody finally went, oh, wait, let's do that. I'm all for stuff like that. I think that's great. We've played this thing for 2 generations, 3 generations of people, and no one has gone and said, how about changing the bat? How about we just recut the bat? Seems pretty logical to me.
You guys were old enough to remember in the chat when those, I forget what those Easton bats were called, but they came up with the fat bats. It was called. I had a big stick. Yep. It was a big stick. Literally, it was an Easton big stick that I had in my trunk when I went to the cages. It made me a good hitter, and I wasn't always a good hitter. but I turned into, learning about counts and figured it all out at about 16, 17. And I got to be a much better hitter because every time I got jammed, it went into the outfield. It was great.
Oh, I remember that.
Right? I mean, there was a black and
the black and gold one. Yes, and everybody fought
Woo,
the black
that big
and gold
stick.
one.
Oh,
Yes,
baby.
the
And
black
then
and
there was
gold
a
one was.
silver one with green printing
I
on
never
it.
saw
There was
that one. The
yeah,
black and the gold one is what we all had. Like every kid in my little league team had the black and gold one.
Of course.
Big Easton sign on the barrel.
Yes.
Yeah. Huge. Is baseball the most superstitious sport? Of course it is, but home runs are home runs. I mean, if I can give you a piece of apparatus, a piece of equipment that makes you into a much better baseball player, you're going to take it.
Yeah.
Easton Black Magic.
Thanks, Fish. There was an Easton Black Magic. That was that was the name of that one. I forget what the other one was. I don't think Worth made them. Yeah, used it in the 90s. That was it, Joe C.
Those
Myers.
were awesome.
Absolutely.
Those were so big.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, those are the, and that's really what the first time I remember a price tag for a baseball bat was like $200. It was like $200 for a bat. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That thing never broke.
No.
That thing, you could swing that bat from, like, if you got it at 14 or 15, it was probably a little too big for you then. But by the time you got to be a senior in high school and you could play Legion and all the travel ball and everything else, that bat was great. It had a thin handle. That was the first bat that I remember with a thin handle and then a fat barrel.
Agreed. Big barrel. You don't remember your daughters aren't playing with the 2 first bases, are they?
Oh, college softball plays with 2 first bases. Yes.
Do they really?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw it over the week. I did see it, Brian.
Do you like it?
I did see this. I don't know which game was I watching. I was watching a college baseball game.
I don't like that.
And I saw it. I understand it.
I don't like it.
I mean, it is what it is. You have to, if you keep the runners separate from the, you avoid collisions.
I know, but just learn how to play first base. I mean, it's sit in the corner of the bag and learn how to do a stretch. Like, you should never be clipped. I mean, if the runner runs all over the place, I guess they can step on your Achilles. But I mean, it's really rare if you do it right.
The runner has to touch that base. It's in foul ground.
Right. Like so you're running offside of it, so you're never having to worry about.
Never really. Right.
Yeah.
It keeps the runner in the lane.
Aren't they in foul territory when they're running? Aren't they technically going into foul territory to run when touch first base?
Yeah, they run in the runner's lane. I mean, they stay out of fair ground. It makes sense.
I don't like that at all. I don't
know. I can't remember where I saw it. It wasn't in everyone hasn't done it.
It's like having a 10.5-foot basket. Like, what are we doing? Like, you can't fundamentally change the game. You don't have 2 bases. You have 1 first base, you have 1 second base, you have 1 third base, and 1 home plate. Period. Not playing with multiple. Don't like it.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't like it at all. But I'm sure you didn't like what happened to your Pirates over the weekend, because that was a brutal start. The 2025 Pirates joined the 1924 Pirates as the only teams in the history of Major League Baseball to get walked off 3 times on 3 consecutive games, all to begin a season. Was it weird when you saw that the only other team that ever did that was your team?
Was the Pirates? Yeah. Back when my grandma was born or something. Yeah. I just went, oh, it's funny because a lot of people know that I, like the Pirates. I love the Pirates. People ask me all the time, like, why do you wear all the baseball stuff? I said, one, because I love baseball, but I really love the Pirates. But the stuff has been put away since I've been in, in the mid 90s. Like, they got 90, 91, 92. I got all new stuff when they got good in 2013, 14, and 15. And we're gonna have Clint Hurdle on at some point.
Nice.
When we get the schedule set up. He's gonna come on the show and just talk about baseball and being a Pirate manager and what he's doing now. He's doing some great stuff. But yeah, I like, people will text me like, "Hey, did you see this?" Yes. I everything bad I see about the Pirates as much as I see everything good. The problem is that I think, like, the rumblings are finally with the people are going after Charrington. I don't know if it's his fault. I mean, he's got the players. They're going after Shelton, the manager, now, because the same stuff keeps happening. Like, you can't just throw to the wrong base all the time. You can't. I mean, they lost yesterday on a pass ball. Wasn't really a pass ball. It was a wild pitch, but I don't know. It should have been blocked. Like
Yeah.
the winning run for the Marlins yesterday, got on, stole second. The throw went into center field. He went to third. And then the next pitch or the pitch after was Bednar threw a ball in the dirt. Catchers are catching with one leg down now. Not like Tony Pena used to catch back in the day with one leg out and getting low.
Yeah.
They're teaching catchers to catch with one knee down instead of squatting to give the umpire a better view of you receiving the ball.
Well, the ump's going to be gone, so why are we teaching that?
That's
dumb.
It is beyond silly. If you're a catcher, you're watching the show, thank you for doing that job because it's really tough. And catchers earn every single second of everything they get. Get in your crouch, put your glove up, and stay still. All this like receive the ball this way, receive the ball this way, so you can frame this, that, whatever.
I mean, I still believe in framing. I still believe
you need to be able to frame, but they've taken it too far.
Okay.
Now they have legitimate people that are, collecting money as coaches and fees.
Wow.
To teach kids to catch with one knee down, which means if the ball's in the dirt, you can't block it.
You're
already
fast,
down.
How do you get up to throw to second base? You throw from your knees?
Everybody's throwing from their knees now. How about that? That's why stolen
brilliant.
bases
That's
are
brilliant.
are back in vogue.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay. The Pirates have the most stolen bases by double of the second most team.
Really?
Stolen base. They stole 15 bases.
Okay.
So far this season. The next
On the
team has
Marlins?
6. Yeah.
Wow.
And they went 1-3. So maybe the steals aren't helping.
Yeah, but maybe you just look at that for the future for stolen base props. I bet on guys to steal against the Marlins. So we were talking about this a bit earlier, but it's true. The Dodgers are 5-0. Yankees are 3-0. Tigers are 0-3. The Braves are 0-4.
Yeah.
Any concern? Do we know anything yet?
Well, the Braves got swept by the Padres.
Yeah.
So that's no shame in that. Starting on the West Coast. I mean, they go to the Dodgers now. The Braves go to the Dodgers
tonight. Yeah. Hell of a start. Good luck.
Right. The Yankees swept the Brewers. They scored 20 runs in a game. I mean, they're using torpedo bats.
The start to the game on Saturday was historic. Hit back-to-back home runs to start the game. Francisco became the first pitcher ever to go back to his old team and get lit up for 4 straight home runs to start a game. First time in history. Nestor, sorry, Cortez, sorry.
Yeah.
Not Francisco.
That was ouch. Do we know anything yet? I don't think we know anything ever.
We know nothing. We know nothing now. I mean, this is everybody just, even the Red Sox lose today, doesn't matter. Like, relax. They're 1-3. Oh, no, who cares? It doesn't matter. Tigers are going to be fine. Braves are going to be fine.
What we've seen in the past is like teams can win, like have historic runs in mid to late August and then all of September because of what happened in April. Ideally, Fish just said it. The Tigers just need to get out of April with 500.
Yeah.
That's all like the teams like that are hoping for. You don't want to be 5-20 after April.
Right.
Like
you can't win the division in April. You can lose the division in April. If you start 5-20, you're probably gonna be a wild card.
That's gonna be rough, like to come back from, because now you have to play 20-5 just to get to 500.
Right.
Then you have to fix it. So you don't want to go too far under 500.
Yeah, Francisco, that's true. Betts is still good at baseball, as he said after the game. How do you feel? I'm all right, but I'm still pretty good at baseball. Yeah, we know, Mookie, you're still pretty good at baseball. We know you're pretty good. So, two swings of the bat for Mookie Betts was pretty darn impressive.
Dodgers are good. I mean, the Dodgers are 5-0. They're not going to go 162-0, but they may go, I don't know, 120 and.
Would you bet
42.
if I gave you the chance to rebet it now over 117? Would you bet it?
No,
I wouldn't either.
But it's. They were down in every game.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
They
and how many runs down doesn't matter either.
Right.
It's somebody
please beat the Dodgers. Well,
it's not tonight.
The Braves will tonight.
No. Glass now on the mound tonight. Good luck. They're $2 favorites. Well, that could be tonight.
It's crazy. I mean, it's every day.
Yeah, it can run out. Just someone's going to be a $2 favorite every day. So
when they play the bad teams, what are they going to be?
500. 600.
Yeah, they're going to be minus 450s on a regular basis.
Yeah. So thought of you watching. I was here down the street was the Manchester Regional where Boston College played Denver. So Amanda, my favorite thing about today is the trip that I took to my brother's farm yesterday. So we're on the way back from the farm and like there's traffic everywhere in downtown Manchester. We're like, what the hell is going on down here? Like there's like a complete zoo of people. And I was like, oh, it's the playoffs. It's NCAA tournament for college hockey. Like it's BC Denver. It's a huge game. I'm like, oh, so I go home and I put on waiting for BC Denver. And what's on is Penn State UConn. Yep. And I'm like, holy crap, it's Penn State UConn.
Yep.
Penn State gets an overtime goal that was really damn pretty.
Was.
For the first time for your school in the program. When did it go from club, what you played, to Division I for Penn State? When did that happen?
When Pagula built a rink.
Okay.
So it was, it's probably been less than 20, but or somewhere close to 20 years. I think it was very early 2000. So I graduated 93. My brother graduated 96, and he was still playing. And Smoke and him graduated the same year. But yeah, it's wild. I mean, like, we were getting texts from people yesterday. It was just one of those things like, can you believe this? No, I really can't. I mean, how
do you guys take pride in this? That this was something you guys helped to build?
Oh, it's neat. Yeah, it's really it's I mean, it's a different world now. They're getting kids from everywhere. The college hockey, why does it have the feeling that it does when you watch it? Like you cannot watch no games.
Okay.
All year.
Right.
And then you watch that and you're like, yeah, I need to watch this more. And you never do. I mean, we have people that would come in the book and like talk about it. We'd never see them again.
Well, I mean, for me,
Josie Myers, thank you. 2012. So was the first D1 season per Wikipedia. Thank you, Josie Myers. Yeah.
Best D1 club team for many years, according to Rob L. So there you go.
One. I mean, there were a lot of kids that were, from the area that went.
Would you say UNLV now is number one, given what they just did?
I can't believe what they did. That is so cool.
They beat Denver. The team that beat Boston College said they beat Denver.
I know. That's what I mean. Like when I went to the games, and I only went to one game this year. When Kelsey was here last year going to school, we went to like 12.
Right.
And they were a lot of fun. But I went to those games and I kept telling Kelsey, like, one, I can't believe I played this sport. These kids are bigger, faster. The physical
nature.
It blows my mind when I see it now. But this is reality. Like kids can go anywhere now and play. Or kids are growing up out west playing. Austin Matthews lived in Phoenix.
Right.
Is playing NHL.
I grew up outside of Boston in Andover, Mass. North Andover is where Merrimack College is. So Merrimack was D2 hockey for most of my elementary school years. And my father and I, we would go almost to every home game for Merrimack. They were unbelievable. They were cheap. It was in this tiny little place. There were 2,000 people. It was high-level college hockey. I never played hockey, but I always loved the sport, loved to watch it. My father loved hockey, loved to watch it too. So we watched as Merrimack went all the way to a D2 national championship. And they won the D2 national championship. I was in the building when they won it. The next year, they went to Hockey East, and they became a Division I program. Things have changed dramatically for Merrimack. They don't dominate anymore, but they still play Hockey East. They still play very high level. They produce NHL talent all the time. Kids from Quebec and kids from Montreal and that, the eastern part of Canada come down to go to school all the time in Merrimack. So I've always had a soft spot. And then when I went to Huntsville, the University of Huntsville, Alabama, the Chargers played D1 hockey. They were the only D1 hockey program south of the Mason-Dixon line for a long time. So I got a chance to watch them play, and a lot of kids from Canada came down, and I called some games for them, and I did a bunch of PR work for UAH for a long time. And then I went to Omaha, and Nebraska-Omaha, the Mavericks have had a D1 hockey program and the USHL programs that are there for the high school kids for Omaha and Des Moines. So I've always had a really big soft spot for where these kids come from and the development that they get into and how they play. And you watch them and you watch how crushed UConn, didn't hurt me there, but UConn get crushed for losing that overtime.
Oh,
I mean, they were devastated. They were just completely, totally torched, and they were emotionally a wreck that they had lost in overtime a chance to go to the Frozen Four after they had lost to Maine in the Hockey East final.
Yeah.
So, like, UConn had an unbelievable hockey season, but they fell short in their two biggest games that they needed to have.
It's the finality of the whole thing,
Yeah.
and it's the way, like Yorkie said it here in the chat. I mean, they literally are playing for everything, every game, every shift, York. I mean, they're playing it. It's, you just know that it's over when it's done, pretty much for a lot of the kids. Although, like, the one kid that lost for BC, he's gonna be on the Capitals like next week.
Well, the kid that scored the game-winning goal for Denver in the game, they wanted he was drafted by the Islanders or whoever. They were waiting for him to lose. Like, he was going to lose and then go play right away. And yet they're still playing. So they got to wait 2 weeks. You got to wait even longer for them. So, yeah, a lot of these kids are playing. I mean, the goaltender for Denver last night stood on his freaking head. He was unbelievable.
Well, that's what ends up happening. Like, for Penn State, the goaltender was amazing in the third period. Like, there was no way that you thought they're going to win this game. You were just waiting for UConn to get the goal that was going to give them the lead. And then when it got to, as soon as it gets to overtime, you're like, there's a chance. And of course, no one in this house cared. So I was like, then I couldn't find a remote, and then, like, I just wanted to watch the game, and I only saw it afterward. And I was like, oh, okay. Because, like, my favorite thing about today, we'll do it at the end. But yeah, I went to that volleyball game. That was fun. It gets no handle. Nobody bets it.
No,
nobody bets it.
No. It's a really fun event to watch, though. It's fun. Yeah. So it's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Correct.
For the Frozen Four, April 10th and 12th in St. Louis for that. And Denver beating Boston College was just an absolute war. They scored two goals. They scored 2 goals in the first period and then sat on it the rest of the game and just didn't allow BC any scoring opportunities. They finally got one, but they couldn't get the tying goal to get that thing into overtime. And Denver beats BC last year in the championship game to win the national championship. And now they knock out number 1 seed Boston College in their backyard on all things. Like, huge win for Denver. I mean, that entire building was there for Boston College. There were like 10 people there for Denver.
Right.
And a tiny little circle of people that were there.
Yep.
And yet their goaltender was just freaking unbelievable. Crazy. Kid was so good. Ovechkin is now 5 goals away. Are we now going to pay attention? Is the countdown finally on? He's 5 goals away from tying the record.
So I get back on the wagon with Carver. Every Friday we do an NHL show. It's 30 minutes. It's just, we talked about this. There's a bet that you could make.
When does he do it?
He does it.
Like it.
Second and last game in the season is against the Islanders on the road.
Oh.
That's the one that if you space it out, that's the one Mike liked. And the price was like plus 550.
Oh, all right.
The Penguin game is the last game of the season. That price was plus 850 when we looked at it on Friday. So you can pick the game that he's going to do it. Now, the no as of Friday was him
tomorrow.
Was him not doing it.
Can you score 5 tomorrow? He plays Boston tomorrow. Can you score 5?
At home?
At Boston. Score 5 goals on the road. Can Ovechkin score 5 tomorrow? He might. He might score 3 tomorrow.
One of our resident wrenches, Addison, has been saying bet Ovi third period goal. That's been doing pretty good.
Keeps on hitting it. Open net, they're feeding him the puck. Whenever there's an open net, it's Ovechkin.
Well, I think yesterday was a deflection, but it was in the third period.
Okay.
So, Patrick Waugh does love pulling the goalie. You're right, JPC to fourth. So that would make sense. 5, yes, if Swayman is in goal. Oh boy, that's not that nice. I mean, come on.
I mean, look where the Bruins are. I mean, the Bruins are just an absolute train wreck. They still have a winning record, but the Bruins won the first meeting 4-1. They lost the second meeting 3-1 on New Year's Eve. But since the Bruins are just an absolute disaster of a hockey program, just everything on every level, the Bruins are just an absolute train wreck. They've lost 8 games in a row. They're 2-7-1 over their last 10, but 8 straight losses, and they are now completely gone from any conversation of anything except the draft for next year. They are tanking. Bruins are literally tanking. So I would go over 1 goal for Ovi tomorrow. If he's going to break it, he may need to score 2 goals tomorrow.
We'll address it early. We're doing the show early tomorrow, boys and girls. If you're going to be here live, 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern.
Lunchtime.
We're starting the show. So it's a lunch show back east, breakfast show out west. And we'll discuss it then. No show Wednesday, just to get the schedule lined up for you guys. And then we'll be back to normal Thursday and Friday. Matt will be back in the West Coast time zone. It's been cloudy every day since you left.
Bring it back to the sunshine, because it's been cloudy every day that I've been here. I haven't seen the sun yet. Literally, I haven't seen the sun yet since I've been here. It's unbelievable.
You better pick up your allergy pills, because this wind,
the wind,
stop. It just hasn't stopped.
55 mile per hour wind gusts. I got that text this morning.
It hasn't stopped. Literally has not stopped the whole weekend, and it's all that stuff is in the air, all that dust and pollen and everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
if this passes, if this next story comes to be, we have to go talk to John Kincaid, because Eagle fans are literally taking this as a personal affront that there is real momentum to outlaw the tush push this week. It very well might go down. I mean, he's calling everybody the P word in the NFL.
Oh. Were you two going at it this morning on Twitter?
No, we're talking.
I know, but I saw
like
at 4 in the morning. Well, it's 4 in the morning here
for you. Yeah, not
7
for me.
in the morning.
You, I was awake. I was up at early today.
I mean, should it be?
Look, again, it comes down to the rules. I don't have a problem with the Eagles doing it because it fits the rules. If you change the rules to make it illegal, fine, but you are going to outlaw a play that is currently legal. They're not doing anything wrong. By the letter of the law, it's a legal play. So you can say we're going to change the way they do it. There's a lot of talk here in New England about a Ted Johnson idea where he says, okay, if the offensive lineman can get pushed by the running backs, the linebacker should be able to push back and push the defensive lineman forward, which I actually think might be a decent fix.
So it becomes a rugby scrum, literally. Both sides.
Yes, both sides get to push, because only one side pushing is why it works. Like, everyone always forgets that. Like, what Johnson says is, like, everyone always talks about the Eagles and how great Kelsey is and blah, blah, blah. He's like, defensive guys can't push one another. That's illegal. You cannot push another defensive player as a tackler. You can't do that. So make that legal and see how the offense likes it.
All right.
I like that idea. I'm good with that, to say that both sides can push,
NFL tush push ban reportedly has support in league meetings, though discussions are heated. I mean, I guess it would be heated. The chat's getting heated.
Oh, yeah.
Tyro Boyd said Eagles win every game by 20 without the tush push. Yorkie has to apologize to Will for what he just put in the chat. Learn to stop it. What a bunch of whats. Yorkie said in the chat as well.
That's fine, but you can't. But my problem with that, and I think there is some validity to that idea of, wait a minute, you have rules that are based upon the offense being able to do something the defense can't. So learning how to stop it would then make, I think, the defense should be able to push the same way that the offense pushes. Let's make it fair, and I'm good with it. It's not changing the offensive rules. It's changing the defensive rules.
What a show. I mean, we're talking about torpedoes and inches and everything, and now we're talking about pushes and tushes and I don't even know where this is all going. This is a real sports talk show right now. This is great. It's not just about the gambling. I love it. It seems personal if they outlaw it, because there's one team that really does it well.
But the Ravens do it too, and the Ravens were asked pretty well about it, and they said, "Look, if it's legal, we're going to keep on doing it. Like, we're going to do it." So, and Tyrone, thank you, I appreciate that. That's nice of you. I think that there is. I'm good if you're going to leave it alone. I'm good as long as we're going to give the defense the same opportunity that we give the offense. You shouldn't allow one side of the ball an extra advantage without giving the other side of the ball the equal opportunity to do it too. So that's my problem with it. That I say, okay, fine. You want to be able to push somebody? I should be able to push somebody. And let's do, like you said, a legitimate rugby scrum and do it up and play it out.
You remember when running backs used to grab the offensive lineman when they were running like a sweep, and then they
Uh-huh.
would push and throw the offensive lineman into
Yes.
this poor
DB, tiny little guy.
guy just
Yeah.
try like the DB's coming up to make the play on this way, and
Yeah.
he would throw the pulling tackle into him, and they said you can't do that no more.
Yep.
But you can do this. I don't know. I'm not so much worried about fixing the tush push as I am like, can we figure out what pass interference is?
Well, the tush push is a big deal. I mean, it's a lightning.
I mean, it is, but like
The Eagles are
we
the
got
defending champs.
bigger problems in
Fine,
football.
but you have a touch point conversation with fans. Look at the chat. I mean, it's a touch point. This is something the NFL loves to dabble in these types of topics because it gets everybody going. It gets everybody upset and gets everyone. Eagle fans call everybody a cat. You hear the P word getting thrown around like crazy because they're all like, "Oh, you guys are just mad because we're the best ones at it." And while there should be some truth to that, defensive teams are raising their hands and saying, "Well, hold on. It's not just we can't stop it. You guys get to do something that we can't do. And if we can do it too, then we're all good. Let's go ahead and play fair's fair."
They need to give the defense back a little
I would agree.
more power and rights.
I would agree.
You see what we're doing here, Will? We're trying to keep it clean for you, Will. But like this tush push and torpedoes and all this other stuff, I mean, we're dancing around a lot of things. I'll just say it right now, get it out of the way, an hour and 20 in. This is bullshit.
What is which is bullshit? The fact that the Eagles get to use a rule that no one else can have on defense, or they're trying to outlaw it because of the Eagles? Which one is that?
I think that the fact that they're trying to outlaw it because of the Eagles have perfected it. Now, if you're going to change the rule, I think there's a way to do it. Like you said, make it okay for the defense to do it, but I'd rather fix the bigger things. What does this happen?
A lot.
They
this
play
is a
17 games.
It's a scoring play. This is a big deal.
I understand, but they play 17 games. They run 75 to 80 plays a game. Okay. So 80 times 17 is 800 and hold on, 8 times
56?
10 is and then 560. So it's 1360. They've run 1,360 plays in a season.
Okay.
How many times they run the tush push?
Overall, probably 50.
50 times you think they ran it?
100%. Yes. They run it 3 or 4 times a game.
There's games they don't run it at all.
Rare. Eagles are running it on forget first downs. They're running it all the time. They're intentionally trying to get to a 3rd and 1 to run it. Like they call plays on second down.
And then they go for it on 4th down.
And then they go for it twice. Yeah. They get it twice. They think, okay, maybe you might stop us once. You're not stopping us twice. So it's 3 to 4 times a game they're running this thing. This is a pretty, it's 56 times a year that they're running it. Yeah, I agree, Roger. 50 times at least. Yeah. They're running this thing a lot.
So, all right, but I figure, is it successful every time? They were 39 of 48 this postseason, or this past season.
Alone.
Past season, the whole season. Okay,
according to 48 times, so we're close. Yeah,
so they ran good numbers, boys. He's changing the rule because of it.
Yes. All the time. I mean, we did that with catches in the end zone. We've done that with all sorts of things, with surviving the ground. Like we've done this a lot where we've changed rules for certain plays.
But don't change other things that could actually make the game a little more entertaining.
I'm not debating that point. I will leave the rule alone. I'm totally cool with taking the rule and saying, you know what? We're leaving it as is. We're giving the defense a chance. And how we're going to do that is that you as a linebacker can push the defensive lineman now back. So we can do it on both. Because you look at the formations, you can't push. You can only fill gaps. So sometimes it's
this
2-on-1.
Incredible. I can't. I mean, you're just filling gaps now.
It's 2-on-1.
What the hell is going on?
Take it even more. It's a 2-on-1 fight. Okay.
I really wish my wife would watch the show more. Like she asks all the time. Are you going to get sponsors? I don't know. We're filling gaps today. She's going to ask, what did you do today? Fill gaps. Yeah.
So to me, I don't believe you should be able to push somebody from behind unless you have the ability for others to participate in the same said rule.
That's fine. I mean, that's okay. But now we're asking the referees to make more decisions about what a flag is and what isn't. And he pushed him.
Not really.
No,
No,
he
I mean,
pushed him. Now it's a
because
complete scrum.
no, everybody can do that. I mean, you're just
That's
not
fine.
like you're not giving the offense an unfair advantage. That's what people have said. It's an unfair advantage. An offensive player cannot pull somebody forward. They can only push them forward. They can't pull them.
Right.
So now we're saying, okay, defensive players, you can get involved in the pushing, not the pulling.
Right.
You can push.
All right.
And I'm okay with that. And fine. The NFL wants offense, obviously. But like Dave said, at some point, you got to give the defense a shot. At some point, you got to make it a little bit more fair on the defense to be able to do that. So, interesting story that came out over the weekend from my guy, Steve Ruddock, who writes a tremendous newsletter. He pointed out that Kalshi is going to fire back. They have filed a lawsuit against Nevada and New Jersey, arguing that there is a crucial difference between what they do, which is a platform for future bettors, and a sports book, saying that they are not a sports book. They are an investment marketplace. Kalshi is also claiming that they are a peer-to-peer exchange, which is crazy because they just walked into a definition of what a book is in a regulated market.
Correct.
You can't be a peer-to-peer exchange and not be regulated by a gaming control board. So what the hell is going on here? What is going on? Because our friend Daniel Wallach went to LinkedIn and he basically said that Kalshi is, well, talking out of both sides of their mouths. They've changed their story in these lawsuits. As he wrote, it has done what you should never do when appearing before multiple federal courts, advancing a diametrically opposite position between two different tribunals on an important point, now claiming that sports outcome contracts are lawful under federal law. It told the D.C. Circuit Court back in November that, quote, Congress did not want sports betting to be conducted on derivative markets, which is a complete 180 to both courts. What is this?
Mom, if you're watching the show, I should have gone to law school. Right? I'd have been a tremendous lawyer. It's never too late, but I'm 54, and I think that ship has sailed. Although if we get the real big bag, I'm going to do it just for fun, so I can walk into the courtrooms and just look at other guys and go,
"Hi,
what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Seriously." I would say to Kalshi, if they called, and if you want to reach out, you can ask the bvb@gmail.com. You can reach me personally, sportsbkconsig@gmail.com is my personal email, or the show. Just reach out. You can send a text at a text line, 702-570-8255. Let us know, because I'll tell you this. You guys are full of caca. This is sports betting. Exactly what it's supposed to be. You can call it prediction market. You can call it this. You can call it that.
An investment marketplace.
What the is that? What is that? Like
a book. It's a book.
It's a book.
It's a sports book. What is it? It's a sports book.
It's a book.
It's yes.
And like, you know, there's companies that paid a lot of money for licenses, lawyers, fees, infrastructure, all this stuff that had to be done to play in this sandbox. And now this one, you can just say, we're this and we're going to do this.
So Ruddock said to me, he's like, I think they're going to win at the Supreme Court level. And I go, we're going to the Supreme Court? And he was like, yeah, probably, but it would take a bunch of years for it to get there, but it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
He said, and I was like, I couldn't believe, like, because to me, this reeks of PASPA. This is a state rights issue. We already determined this. Supreme Court already took that rule down. It's a state-by-state basis. So if Nevada and New Jersey both say, hey, you're operating a sports book, we're classifying you as a sports book, you're going to the federal government to override what a state is ruling your operation as.
Right.
Like that gets murky in a big, big way to me.
Oh,
like that gets
murky. I mean, they started it with the election stuff.
Right.
And I haven't spoken with, we're going to try to get Wallach on the show because Wallach's a lawyer and he can speak with the lawyer part of it. I can tell you from the book guy and the book guys that I spoke with over the weekend and this morning, Alfonso is in the financial markets. So he has played in that playground after being down south. And, he's from Costa Rica, and he learned this business from the ground up and did this business to then pay for school to get out of Costa Rica. So he knows how that's done. Then he knows how the back end of the financial trading stuff is done. These are binary markets.
Mhm.
So there's yes and no. And now they've taken it. Will Duke win? Yes or no. Will Houston win? Yes or no. So you can bet on one, bet on the other, bet and I'm using the word bet because that's what it is. It's a bet. What are you talking about?
The
Prediction market? Financial blah, 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 blah. What?
It's great. So this is what the CEO Tarek Mansour wrote on LinkedIn.
Come on a show, Tarek.
He said in a LinkedIn post about this, saying, quote, over the last decade, the concept of objective truth has been dangerously eroded by aggressive politicization, rampant misinformation, and biased journalism. Without the ability to agree on some of the basis and without truth, we are blind, a society evolving without direction, endless debating itself into oblivion. Prediction markets have proven themselves to be the antidote. They mobilize the most elegant and effective properties of free financial markets towards the pursuit of unbiased truth. They are the quintessential truth machine. With a trust in traditional institutions at an all-time low, people are turning to prediction markets at astronomical pace. The growth of the ecosystem in the last year is a testament to how important they have become to the American people. We need prediction markets now more than ever.
As a basis of handle and whatever. I mean, like, that was tremendous. Like, we should have put music
right?
that.
It's like Braveheart. He's like, give us prediction markets or give us bets.
Need prediction markets.
Like, what are we doing?
I'm going to read that after you. Is that link in the email that you
I'll send you the actual
that with music bed underneath. That's going to get me excited in the morning.
He ended by saying, we are left with no choice. Right. Sue. That's how he ended the post.
Well, they're going to fight because they can. I mean, it'll take a while before they get there, and they're still taking bets and making money. I'm all for making it the marketplace, and this will be a great place. Guys won't have to fly to Vegas with a bag.
Yeah,
they'll just go and open up an account with Kalshi because they'll take the money, and you don't have to take a position. You're just taking little pieces of every transaction you're taking. I mean, the margins are going to be razor thin. We've had Alex Kane on to talk about this. This was what he was doing with Sport Trade.
Yeah.
They just sort of, the BSD, they can come in and swing it all over the place and do it tomorrow. I cannot believe
the hubris is unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Like, you really think you're like, you think this is a serious societal conversation. Like, this is being talked about by a very small number of people, man. Like, what are we doing? And Kalshi's going to try to, make it normalized. They're going to try to market to people. And as we talked about, that's the election stuff where they were advertising on the Vegas Strip, but they're going to have,
billboards overlooking the Strip.
That was for the election, but now they're doing it for the tournament. And now they're doing it for all these different things, saying, here we go. We are not a sports book, but you have a chance to come in if you like sports betting. Well, we're not a book, but we're going to give you something very similar to a sports book that will give you a similar experience to a sports book.
Everything's changing so fast. I talk about it all the time. Like, the kids are teaching us stuff every day, and like, the world's changing. But like, the world that I knew with the sports books is like, it's going away. Addison and Wrench, what's he say? I'm going to test this on the wife. Honey, I don't bet anymore. I partake in prediction markets for the sanctity of our country. Yes. Yeah. See how that works, Addison. Let me know. Send me a text, brother. That's.
I mean, prediction markets have proven themselves to be the antidote for societal problems. They mobilize the most elegant and effective properties of free financial markets toward the pursuit of unbiased truth. He actually wrote that. Like, he actually.
What does that mean?
It means the only pure and honest thing in America is a prediction market, is what he said.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
What are we doing, man? Like, what?
We need him on the show. I would love to ask him.
Explain this to us. You have to explain that.
Say
Like,
it. Say it so I can hear you say it, because
Or
I
did-
read it
or
and
did you
I
go?
can read it and I
Did
can put
Chat
music under
GBT
it.
put that together for you? Like what? Like what was like who wrote that? Like seriously, like who wrote that? That was not a human being actually wrote that. Like you believe this? Like this is we're this important that you're going to solve all of societal problems by legalizing a prediction market? That our trust in institutions will be brought back by prediction markets? What?
Listen, they can be manipulated as much as the line on the Duke and Houston game.
Of
Like
course.
but it will give, man. I just think about the freedom that it will give some people that are in the business that need to get down 100,000 on a game without asking questions. Yeah, the guy was an English major, Tyrone. You think he was? I don't know, T. Boyd. I don't know if he was an English major. That didn't. It sounded like the Queen's English. It sounded like
Right.
Shakespeare.
Yep.
What
That
the hell
sounded.
was that?
I don't know what
And
it
I
was.
love Shakespeare. Don't get me wrong. Not besmirching Shakespeare. Willie did a good job with all those plays and stuff. But what was that?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Good luck. So we'll see if we can get Wallach on the show to talk about it. A couple NBA games tonight. Boston and Memphis is the game of the night. Totals up to 226 and a half. Celtics have won 14 of 15 road games, but they're still not the favorite to win it all.
He won every game on this road trip.
Road trip so far by big numbers.
It's the last game of the trip,
Mhm.
right?
Up against a team that they like to go up against, though. Marcus Smart, and there's a lot of history here.
Tough
with
to
Memphis.
see the Celtics lose this game, but they could not cover. This might be
I
one
would
of those
agree.
ones where this may come down to the end.
Memphis won by
Totals-
6 in Boston.
I'm right. This. Not saying the dog is live, but I am.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah.
I think plus the point. This would be the one where it catches the Celtics backers. We'll see.
I would
I'm
agree.
deciding later when I'm going on Sports Grid that Memphis is on the list of possibilities when I'm going on.
How high is the total now? What are we up to?
Well, you have 226 and a half, but it was a 3.
Oh,
It's-
sorry.
It's 236 and a half.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry on that.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
That's what it is right now.
Okay. I got 234 last night. Houston at the Lakers.
Got over?
Yeah.
I like over. Yeah,
I bet
that's going over.
I bet over. Houston at Lakers.
Interesting game.
Uh-huh.
We got, by the way,
Why is the number?
we got some good feedback on the YouTube channel about our discussion with Stephen A. Smith and LeBron and all that other stuff. Thank you guys for watching and leaving a comment. If you watch the show on the replay, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Just anything. Like you can say whatever you want. We do see them. We're trying to respond more, but that gets the algorithm going. So if I say something that pisses you off, if Matt says something that pisses you off, just get in there and type a comment. We'll answer it back. It's fine. This one, Lakers.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's Lakers.
Again, these are like one of these measuring stick games. Can the kids walk into LA and beat the Lakers in a game
More
that they need?
measuring stick talk today?
Yes.
What
This
the-
is a measuring
what are
stick.
we
Yeah.
doing?
Not,
Like a
not-
torpedo measuring stick?
Not that type of measuring stick, but a measuring stick game for sure for Houston. Can you go into LA and beat the Lakers in a game that they need? Let's see.
I don't know.
Yes,
They
Houston
did play
played yesterday.
back-to-back.
That's why
Yeah,
the numbers,
that's what
why the
yeah,
numbers
I
were
know.
those. But they're
Exactly.
kids. Got kids. Got young kids.
Yeah, I don't
First
know.
legs.
Yeah, first thought when I saw it was, oh, check it. So, yep, Houston played last night.
Okay.
And did they smoke somebody?
I don't
Let me
remember.
double check. Let me double check.
What's the final score of that? Let's see. For yesterday, Houston won by.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's
yeah,
the
they
game
killed
Durant got
Yes,
hurt.
yeah, they killed the
They won
Suns.
148 to 109, and it's a
Killed the
short
Suns.
flight up from Phoenix to LA. So,
If I had to bet, I'd take Houston.
yeah, I think if I had to bet,
Personally.
I would take the Lakers.
All right, Braves gonna get a win tonight. Holmes against Glass now.
So a lot of people rooting for him. Just want to see
They're
somebody
0-4.
wants to see the Dodgers lose.
0-4. They're 0-4 versus 5-0.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not even the Braves fans. I mean, like, there are Braves fans. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I wore the Dodger stuff when I went to see the kids in Florida. I had the Dodger stuff on them.
Careful.
Because I just wore the LA stuff. It wasn't like there was no thought out. It was just what was in the bag. So I wore the LA hat and the Dodger t-shirt to match. And this girl on the other team, they were pre-gaming. She turned to me and said, something about the Braves. Go Braves this. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, I'm wearing Dodger stuff. This is a big rivalry.
Oh,
this is our two best teams, perception-wise, in the National League.
Yes.
Minus 225?
Odds-wise.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Dodgers till they lose. Just keep on betting them.
Oh, I guess so. But Braves plus 1.5 before the game.
Dodgers till they lose. Guardians, Padres.
Oh, God, Johnny Parlay. This is inside information. Grant Holmes pitched for the Aviators a few seasons ago. He was awful. Now he's found himself on the Braves pitching staff. That's the starter for tonight, Grant Holmes. Johnny, that don't look good. Over? Maybe we'll bet over.
It's Dodgers until further notice.
Fair. All right, that's fine.
Guardians at Padres.
Padres is a hotter team than them right now, other than the Dodgers.
No, take the Padres. It's a good start, good matchup.
Got Ortiz. This is the guy that the Pirates had last year.
By the way, first 5 Red Sox Orioles flies over.
Yeah,
7 runs first 5.
4-3 in the 5th so far. He gives up runs early, Ortiz. So expect the Guardians to be down early, Padres to score early. The first thought is Padres
money line. Yeah, I like Padres money line as well.
Get us out, and then we'll come back with.
You guys are watching live. Stick around. We got Better to Book It and Favorite Thing About Today coming up in bonus time. If you're on the replay crew, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Sports Grid TV and Sirius XM. We're back with you guys coming up for tomorrow. The rest of you guys don't move. Bonus time begins now. Okay, Better to Book It right into it. All right, one hockey play. Colorado in regulation, laying 155 against Calgary tonight.
Undefeated against Calgary this season.
2-0, correct. 4-2 wins in both of them, both at Calgary. This is the first time playing them at home.
Aren't they in the same division? I think they're 6-0 against them in the season.
6-0? That wasn't what I saw last night.
Yeah, I think they're 6-0. Wetzel sent me the trends this morning for the hockey. So I think this is a 6-0.
No, they're 2-0 in the regular season? No. According to ESPN, they're not.
They're in their last 6. I guess they've won 6 in a row.
Oh, okay. So maybe going back to last year.
Going back to last year.
Yeah, okay. And they're in different divisions. One Pacific, one Central.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's a different divisions.
Yeah, this is Colorado. This is a bet
on that. And then I played the over from Memphis in Boston. Over to 234. Sorry, I wrote that wrong twice now. It's 234 for Boston.
I like that too. I think that's a bet.
Yeah.
Although be careful. I mean, it's up to 236.5. So
closing line value. But they played one game before and it was a crazy back and forth high scoring game in Boston.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Celtics in Memphis will play anyway. It was a 127-121 final for the Grizzlies. They won the game by 6. Boston has won every game on this trip, 5 games in a row, and they've scored at least 113 points in all of them. They scored 132, 129, 121, 121. Like, look at Celtics first half team total if you want as well, if you want some extra on this. I mean, they're going to score. Memphis is a totally different type of team now.
Oh, boy.
Memphis is 134, 127, 125, 104, 140, 103, 128, 108, and 115, 99. Those are the last 5 final scores for Grizzly games.
Yeah.
Like they just don't play defense anymore. They just go and run and put up points. So, favorite thing about today is what?
The other hockey game tonight, by the way, Dallas and Seattle. I got one for you. Better to book it. I got Dallas regulation.
Yeah, I take Dallas too. Yeah, I looked at it. I was going to parlay it with to knock down.
Also undefeated against Seattle.
Yeah, this is the time.
He said they're like 7-0 in their last 7 meetings.
You can fade these bad hockey teams right now. They don't want to be there anymore. Like there's a lot of
Nashville officially eliminated from playoff contention. Philly's still number-wise still available to make it, but they're not going to.
Right.
Philly's a very small favorite today. They're going to beat Nashville. They're 2-0 since letting
dead cat bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, they have it. I mean, it's been a couple games in a row, so kind of chalky, but looks like
fine.
you
It's
know
a good time to bet chalk.
Flyers, Colorado, and Dallas all winning today. So we'll see. Everything about today, two things. One, last night we went to the volleyball game, the Vegas Thrill. Fun experience out at the Lee's Family Forum, formerly known as the Dollar Loan Center.
Yeah.
We played the San Diego Mojo.
Ooh.
The gear is amazing. We didn't get any.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that building is I love that building. It's very convenient.
It
not
is.
to us driving there, but everything about it. But this is a professional league, and everything was a hustle. And it's Vegas, and it was extremely, extremely expensive.
Really?
Different thing. It was. I can't believe it.
Well, that's too bad. That's not smart.
2 slices of pizza and a 20-ounce bottle of soda / pop.
Okay. We just went there for the tournaments.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't. It would. I think that would have cost us $8.
Okay.
What was it?
Two slices of pizza with the Rosati's label on it and a bottle of Sprite. Let's put 20-ounce bottle of Sprite.
Could have more than $15, was it?
The total, and I did not give a tip in this total. I threw the guy $1 because I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I really am getting this because my daughter wants the piece and I want the other one, I guess. $29.85.
Oh my, $30?
$29.85 for 2 slices of pizza, which were $10.50 a piece. And the bottle of pop was $6.50. I went, people keep saying,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
You're killing
Like,
the city.
what are you doing? I don't
Killing
know.
the city.
It was $15 to park.
What? They charge for parking?
$15.
It was free. We went, oh my.
I don't know what's going on, but I do. And I just smiled. And then at the end of the game, when we're leaving, and it was a Sunday night, so it's a school night, so we had to, 35-minute drive back home. Jessica said to Kendall, do you want to come back? And now we got the tickets through her volleyball club. So it was Armed Forces night, and we saluted everybody who served in the Armed Forces.
Nice.
It gave us away a camouflage beanie, which was awesome. So we got beanies, which was great. And there was a lot of service people, in the building. So that was nice. But I said to Kendall, do you want to come back? She's like, no, it was too expensive. I didn't. She's 11 and already thinking of that. So that was my favorite thing about today in that regard. And then number 2, I got to shout out my brother, Doug. I just got a text from him right before the show. He got his 5-year scan result. He's clean. So he's technically, in his mind and in the, medical professional's mind, cancer-free officially. So it's been a long fight, 5 years, but he said, you've been positive with the mojo. He doesn't always watch the show, but when he does, he's been like, can you send out a positive mojo thing? I didn't do it Friday because I was like, I better wait until we actually get the result. But shout out to him, LFG, brother Doug, absolutely. Nikki Ciramello, he's having a good day. So that was exciting news today.
That's awesome news. Congrats to him on that. Speaking of brothers, I actually had to see mine yesterday. It's always kind of fun when you get the chance to kind of show off your brother's work. And his farm is every time I go, I marvel at the idea that my brother and his wife actually run this thing, because it's huge, and it's not compared. Like if you were a Nebraska or Iowa farmer, you would think that my brother farms a postage stamp. Like he farms nothing compared to the acres upon acres that, soybean and corn farmers do. But like, it's just wild to watch, knowing that we'll go back there in the summertime and he had all the seedlings, and he was showing me all the different land that he has, different ways of planting things. And like, they're getting ready. It's March. So like, they're getting ready for everything to get going. And like, just that he knows as much as he knows, and the stuff that he grows, like, sure, he grows like sweet potatoes, but he grows like these things I've never heard of before, like things I've never really eaten before, like watermelon radishes I've never really eaten before. And like, he's like, try these watermelon radishes. I'm like, okay. And they were good. It was just, we're just so similar on the inside, but on the outside, we are so different. Like I'm sitting while looking at lines and talking about like Amanda's like, you're talking about like spreadsheets and lines and plays and overs and unders. And he's talking about like weather patterns and looking at like soil density and the nitrogen content of the soil that's in, like, it's just very funny that like we're very similar people when you see to us, but we're very different in terms of how our lives went and what we chose to do. But it was cool to get out there, and Brooks got to drive a tractor, so he was all pretty fired up.
Oh, that's fun.
About getting out to, yeah, he had like the biggest smile on his face that he got to drive this like gigantic, huge tractor.
I drove a lawn tractor for the first time in my life at Brother Doug's last summer.
Was it fun?
I had a blast. I wanted to keep doing it. I was like, this is great, and he's looking at me like I'm an idiot. And, he's come out and been, in the book and spent weekends here. And like, he's been around off and on. He came and visited in Curacao. So he got to see me and Brother Smoke, and he left going, I still don't understand anything you guys are doing, but that was incredible. Like he was exhausted after one day. He was there for a college football Saturday and NFL Sunday. And he went, I have no idea what the hell you guys are doing.
Yeah. So at one point, if we ever do a show at BetMGM Springfield, which is only like 15 minutes from his house, we'll go out there and do a show, and then we could do like a BVB day at the farm. It'd be kind of fun to get to go out there.
Yeah.
To go to the CSA and go check out the farm.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, together. Yeah, we're both detail oriented. Yeah, in a way, there's similar to the way our minds are working for similar ways. Sure, and we're both crazy on this, but like a good watermelon, Roger. Yes, I mean this is a watermelon radish. Totally different, totally different taste. Totally different everything. Like it's spicy. It was like, oh, okay, that's a different taste. We came home with like 2 gigantic, huge bags of root vegetables. That was like. I think we left with like 40 pounds of root vegetables. And they were just like, take this. So it was it was good. It was worth the drive to go out there and hang out. So guys, early show tomorrow, as Dave said, remember it's a 9:30 Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern time show. And then Wednesday, I'm on a plane flying back. So there'll be no show coming up for that, but we will see you guys coming up tomorrow for an early version on a Tuesday for BBB